Hello everyone, my name is Arohi and welcome to my channel. So guys, in my today's video we'll study about diffusion models. Diffusion models are generative AI models using which we can generate new data. And in this tutorial we'll understand the concept of diffusion models in detail. So how diffusion model work? First we'll understand the basic idea and then I'll dive into the details. So diffusion models first corrupt the image by adding noise to it, and then they learn how to reverse that process. Let's see this image. See, this is the input image, right? And then diffusion model is adding noise to it step by step, and finally it will give you this pure noise, right? So this is called forward process. This is called forward diffusion process, and in forward diffusion process this diffusion model learn how to add noise to the image step by step. At each time step we are adding little noise to the previous image. So like this is our input image. When we added little noise to it, this is what we get, and then we added more noise to it, then this kind of image you'll get, and then we added little more noise to it, and finally like this, after performing different steps, after performing multiple steps, you will get a random noise, a noisy image which will be a pure noise like this. And then our model will learn how to reverse this process, means from this pure noise how to get this kind of image, and then from this image how to get this kind of image, and then from there how to get this kind of image, and finally you will get the input image without any noise. So here this process, when we try to reverse the process, when we try to get the original image from this noise, is called reverse diffusion process. Okay, this is called reverse diffusion process. So these are the two processes which makes diffusion model work: forward process, forward diffusion process, and reverse diffusion process. Now we will understand these two concepts in details. So let's start with forward diffusion process. So look at this image. Here, this is our input image. Okay, this is our input image. We can write it like this, right? X 0. Okay, 0 over here means time step. At time step 0, this is our image. So this is a clean image, no noises added to it. So this is the input image, which is clean image. Okay, and then at time step 1, we can say our input image is this. So this one over here is a time step. At time step 1, this is the image we get, and here you can see we have a noisy image as compared to this one. This is the clean image. Here we added some noise to it. Now at time step 2, this is our image at time step 1, this is the image at time step 2. Okay, and the image which is at time step 2 is more noisier as compared to the image which we have at time step 1. So here we can see that every next time step will have the more noisier image. All right, and then here, so we are starting the index from 0. So this is the this is the time step 0, this is the time step 1, this is the time step 2, this is the time step 3. Okay, the final image which you will get from forward diffusion model will be xt. Why we are writing like this? Because in the papers, diffusion model paper, this paper, if you'll see here, they have defined the final image from the forward diffusion process as xt. So this xt is the final image, and the image which is before that time step will be x t minus 1, the previous image, the image from the previous time step. So if you'll see here, this is the pure noise, this is the last image of the forward diffusion process, and we get xt. Xt means the image which is noisier as compared to the previous time steps. So if we have this image as the last image of the forward diffusion process, so this will be xt, means most noisy image, pure noise, and the image before that will be xt minus 1. Okay, and guys, this time step which I'm mentioning over here means how many time steps we have to perform to get the noisy image. This we have to define. So in the paper they have defined t equals to 1000. That means you will perform 1000 time steps. So this will be the time step 1, this will be the time step 2, this will be the time step 3, time step 4, and like this you will go up to t 1000. So if you're starting from 0, so this t will be 999. Okay, after these many steps, after 1000 steps, you will get the image from the forward diffusion process, which will be a pure noise. And guys, here we are not training the model, right? For reverse diffusion process, we will train the model, we will teach the model to perform some task, but in forward diffusion process we are just corrupting the image by adding some noise to it. And to add that noise, what we are using? We are using a normal distribution. This I have explained you in GANs also, normal distribution, which is also known as Gaussian distribution. Using this, we are adding some noise to image at each time step. Okay, so here we are not teaching model anything. This is just a predefined process. We have used this normal distribution, Gaussian distribution, which will add some noise at each time step. Now we got the theoretical idea how forward diffusion process work. Now let's see the maths behind it. This is the function for forward diffusion process. Here we have xt and xt minus 1. I have already told you what is xt. Xt means the final image, or you can say the image which is pure noise, right? This one here you can see this is xt, this is xt, and the image before that will be xt minus 1. Xt minus 1 will be the previous image. Okay, so if you'll see here, this is xt and this is xt minus 1, and you will always remember that xt will be more noisy as compared to xt minus 1. Okay, so let's understand this in more detail. So let's suppose when this is the time step 1, this is x2 means the image at time step 2, this is x3 means the image at time step 3. Now let's forget about this part. Let's say this part is not there, you have performed the task till t3 only. So in this case, when in forward diffusion process we were at time step 3, at that time xt will be this image and xt minus 1 will be this image. Okay, so this is for every time step. The current image will be the xt and the previous image to that will be xt minus 1. So this is what we are going to understand now. This function will take xt minus 1 and it will give you xt. Means the forward diffusion function will take the image which is at previous time step and it will give you the image of current time step. Means it will take in the input to this function will be the less noisier image, which is xt minus 1, and it will give you the image with more noise added to it. So this is the function. Now let's understand it in more detail, how we are going to get that, how this function will give us xt on the basis of xt minus 1. Let's understand that. So this is the formula for it. So this part we have discussed. Xt will be the output of this function and xt minus 1 will be the input to this function. We'll provide this to the this to forward diffusion process, and this it will give us this. How? For that we are using this. So as I've told you that in forward diffusion process we are just corrupting the image by adding noise to it step by step, and by for adding the noise we are using normal distribution, right? So for adding the noise at each time step we are using the normal distribution, and this is how we write normal distribution. Notation of normal distribution is n 0, 1. This is, we want to perform normal distribution, this is the mean value and this is the standard deviation. So we want to get random noise, we want to add noise with mean of 0 and the standard deviation of 1. So that's what we are doing. Normal distribution, this is the mean and this is the variance. This is the mean and this is variance. On the basis of these two values, we want to add noise to this image. So this is the image, noisy image, the image on which we want to apply noise. This is that image, and the amount of noise we want to add on this image is based on this value and on this value, mean and variance. Okay, now let's try to understand this beta which we have used here and here in detail. So these are the three questions which I'm going to address. First one is, what does this beta represent? How this beta is scheduled, and is the same amount of noise we add at each time step. So what is this? Let's understand. First, let's see what does this beta represent, the first question. So I have shown you this kind of step. So what is happening? Forward diffusion process is happening. I have told you that in the paper they have used 1000 time steps. So this is the image we get at time step. Here x999, so means the time step is 999. Okay, so this is the final image. So you'll see this b0 over here, beta 0 over here, and this is the value, and at final time step you'll see beta and this is the value, right? Now what does this beta represent? Beta simply controls the amount of noise added to the image at each time step. Means how much noise you want to add in this image, how much noise you want to add here, and how much noise here and here. At each time step there you want to add some noise to it to finally get this kind of image, right? But what should be the amount of that noise? That part is handled by this beta. So the value over here means this much noise I want to add. The value over here is at this time step, this much noise I want to add to the image which it got from the previous time step. Now why I have written this 0.0001 and at final time step I have written 0.02. So this is the value of beta over here, and at last time step 0.02, and this is the value of beta at the very first time step 0.0001. Why I have written this? Because in the paper the value, the authors decided to go with the value of 0.0001 for the time step first, and beta value they have chosen 0.02 for the final time step. Okay, x t for the final time step they chosen this value. So that's why we have written this. Now this small value of beta means less noise will be added, and this value over here, this is the bigger value, right? So in simple words we can say the smaller value of beta means we will add less noise to the image, and the bigger value of beta means we will add more noise to the image, right? Now how this beta scheduled, as I'm saying that at every time step we will add noise to it, and the amount of noise which we are adding at each time step is controlled by beta. And one more thing, guys, remember that we are not going to add the same amount of noise at each time step. Means if this is the amount of noise added over here, here and here, in each and every next time step, the amount of beta, the amount of noise, the value for beta will be different. This beta is linearly scheduled. How? Linearly scheduled. Linearly scheduled means the value of beta increases linearly step by step, and the value of beta always lies between 0 to 1. From the initial time step, the value of beta is this, and at each time step it is increasing linearly. How? Let's see that process. So using this you can get the value of beta for each time step. Beta start, I have told you that in paper the starting beta value means the value of beta for time step 0, which is the beta start value, is 0.001. And then we also know beta end means the beta value at this time step, because total time steps we have is 1000 as per the paper, right? So this is the final time step. Over here the value of beta is these two values, these three values we got from the papers. We are just taking those values only and we are working according to it. So that is what I've written over here. Time steps 1000, b start value is this, b end value is this, and now we are saying over here I've just mentioned that when the time step is 0, at that time beta value is this, and when the time step is 1000, at that time the beta value is this. Now we are going to use this formula for each time step and we will get the amount of noise added to it. Okay, so see, b start, this value, this value, this value, these values are going to be same for each epoch. Means not sorry for epoch, for each time step b start will be 0.0001, b end will be 0.02, t will be 1000. So what we have, b start is 0.0001 plus t to b end is 0.02 minus b start is 0.0001. okay, this t means time steps, 1000 time steps. So these values are going to be same for each time step. The only value which is going to change is this. For 0th time step the value will be 0 over here, the first time step the value over here will be 1, and then the second time step the value over here will be 2, and then the third time step the value over here will be 3, and like this for all the time steps this value is going to be different. And on the basis of this value, when you will calculate this formula, when you will solve this formula, you are going to have different noise, right? So I have solved this. Let me write those values for you. Here you can see I've mentioned these values. Now you can see here, by applying this formula, I'm getting the value of beta for each time step, and here I'm just showing you for the first time step, second time step 0, time step 1 and time step 2. At time step 2, the beta value will be the value 0.001. But at time step 1, beta 1 value will be this. See, this value is linearly increasing. And at time step 2, the value of beta will be this. So, as I've told you that this beta value will increase linearly, scheduled linearly, means it will increase linearly step by step. Okay. And finally, at this last time step, you will get the value of beta 0.02. So at each time step, the value of beta is different. So this is how the value of beta is scheduled. Now the next question is our third question. Is the same amount of noise added at each time step? Now the answer to this question is clear. No, the same amount of noise is not getting added at each time step, because we as I have shown you how beta is scheduled, and we have discussed that the value of beta, the value of noise increases linearly step by step. So this is what beta is. Beta control the value of noise. Now let's go back to our formula again. So this is a formula, right? This part we have discussed. You understood this. Xt minus 1, you know the previous image. Xt means the current image, the image at current time step. So this formula is for single time step. Okay, this is for single time step. You'll run this formula one time and you will get the image, the noisy image. But how many times we have to perform this process? For 1000 times, right? Because as we have discussed, we want to get a pure noise, and as per the paper, we are going to have 1000 time steps, means you will you will perform this step for 1000 times and then you will get a pure noise. But the formula which I've shown you here is for single time step. So one thing is, you can run this formula for 1000 times and you will get the pure noise, but that is going to be a time consuming process. You are going to rerun this formula for 1000 times, right? We can simplify this process. We can run this formula only for one time and we can get the image which we will get after running this formula for 1000 times. Means the image which we are going to have at time step 1000, which will be a pure noise, that image we can get by running this formula only for once, but there are going to be few modifications. We are going to add few more things in it. So let's understand what are those things, what modifications we are going to do in this formula in order to run this formula for only one time and to get a image which we will get after 1000 time steps, which will be a pure noise. How to do that? Let's see that. So for that, guys, we have added, this is the one thing which we are going to add. What is this? This is alpha t, which is 1 minus beta t. Now what is alpha t means? What is this alpha? Alpha means how much information is there in the image. Okay, let's go up and here. See, this is the input image. At time step 1, this is what we get. We added little noise to it. There are two things. We have discussed beta over here. Now we are going to talk about alpha also. For each time step, we are going to hit some value of beta and some value of alpha. Beta, we understood amount of noise we want to add. Now what is this alpha at each time step which we are going to add? This alpha means how much information from that image you want to preserve. Means here we can see the flower, but little noises on it. How much actual information, the information which we have on the original image, how much information we want to preserve, how much information we want to retain. So over here we added the noise But we will also tell that the information or the data which is there in the image, the amount of data you want to preserve. And here also we are mentioning at the second last time step, here at each time step actually, we are going to define the value of beta and alpha. Beta means how much noise you want to add, alpha means how much information of the image you want to have, means the original image have this information, how much amount of this information you want to preserve over there or you want to retain over there. So this alpha t represents how much of xt minus 1, means the image which is at previous step, how much of the image carried to xt, image at current time step. Okay, so how much of the image from the previous time step is carried to the current time step. This is what alpha t represent. And now we are going to have some value of alpha for each time step and some value of beta for each time step. Let's understand the value of alpha with example. Let's say you have alpha t 0.9. What it is mean? If the value of alpha is 0.9, what will be the value of beta? The value of beta will be 0.1. Alpha t means 0.9 over here means we are retaining the 90% of the data which is there in the image, okay, and we have only added 10% of noise. So like this, see, these two values now tells us about the amount of noise and the amount of information or the data at each time step in the image. 90% data and this. So from here we can understand if the value of alpha is high, that means we are going to have less value for beta, means if the amount of information is more in the image at the particular time step, that means less noise is there. What I'm trying to say over here is that if the value of alpha is high, that means the value of beta will be low. Means if there is more data in the image, if you can see that image more clearly, that means less noise is added. So this is very clear. If the value of alpha is high, then the value of beta will be low. And if the value of beta is high, that means the value of alpha will be low. Got it? Let's try to understand it in more detail. So this part we have discussed. This is a function of forward diffusion process. We will give this image to the model, the less noisier image, it will give you the more noisy image. And this part we have also discussed. We are adding the noise to the image of the previous time step to get the image at current time step, and for that we are using normal distribution, and this is the value of mean and variance. On the basis of this value and this value, we are going to get this value. And I have also explained you this alpha t. Alpha t simply means this alpha will tell you how much information is carried over from previous time step to the current time step, and this is how you get that. This value of beta is the amount of noise you want to add at each time step. Okay, this part, these two things we have discussed. This we will use it. I will tell you why we are using it in some time. Just leave it for now. So now we are understanding this part and we are rewriting it like this over here. So this part we have discussed above, and this part also, this epsilon is a random noise, and we are getting it on the basis of the value, mean value 0 and standard deviation 1. And now we are rewriting it at C. Alpha t is equal to 1 minus beta t. So can we, instead of writing this, we can write alpha t, and over here instead of writing this beta t, can we flip this formula like this? beta t is equal to 1 minus alpha t, right? So that's what I'm writing. At the place of this beta t, I'm writing 1 minus alpha t, and this is epsilon. Now in the next step here, you'll see the thing which we have discussed, what we have discussed while writing this formula over here at this point. Let's just scroll up, and then yeah, over here, remember at this point I have told you that this formula is for one time step, and then if you want to repeat this formula for 1000 time steps, then you can run this step for 1000 times, or we can perform this task in one step also. And for that we talked about this alpha t, right? That step we are going to perform now, that we are extending this formula from t minus 2 to t, right? Okay, next line you can see here also. Over here I'm extending the formula from t minus 3 to t, right? And if you'll see on this side also, over here what I've mentioned, that from t minus 5 we are extending it to t, right? So in the same way you can write all the alpha values for all the time steps together. You can multiply the alpha values of all the time steps together in this single line, and then you can perform the task in single line. But don't you think if we'll write like this, so right now we have from t3 to t we are writing, but we have 1000 time steps. And if you write this formula for all the 1000 steps, this is going to be a long line, right? This is why we have defined the cumulative product of all alphas from time steps 0 to t over here. Here we will multiply all the alphas together, means the value of alpha from time step 0 to t. We will multiply all the alphas together so that we can simplify this formula. Instead of writing this entire thing, we can write it like this. See, we can write it like this, right? Alpha hat t. So that's what we have over here. Alpha hat t, which is a cumulative product of all alphas from time step 0 to t. We are writing it like this. Now we have a simple formula. Using this formula you can get a noisy image, and you don't have to rerun this formula for 1000 times. In one step only you can get this. And now we can rewrite this formula into the form which we have discussed. From x0 to, we will get the xt, means from the original image, from the clean image we will get the pure noisy image. And for that we are using normal distribution. This will be the output image, and this is the mean, and this is the variance, and using this you will get the image which will be a pure noise. And guys, this is what forward diffusion process is. That's it. We are not training our model over here, we are just using this formula, and in this formula we are just using normal distribution, and using that normal distribution we are just adding some amount of noise at each step. Now let's understand the reverse diffusion process. So reverse diffusion process means, see, now we have understood this task from here to here. This is the forward diffusion process. Now reverse diffusion process means we will give this image to the model, and then step by step model will denoise it, and it will finally give us the original image. Okay, so this part we want to understand. Now let's see how to do that. So this is the formula of reverse diffusion process. Input to the reverse diffusion process will be the noisy image. This noisy image we got from forward diffusion process. This is the image, the most noisiest image, the pure noise, which is the output of the forward diffusion model, will become the input to this function. This is the function for reverse diffusion process. This will be the input to the model, and model will give you the less noisier image. Okay, this is the main idea. Less noisier image. Okay, so this is the main idea. At each time step you will give the more noisiest image, and this function will make it less noisier. Okay, so let's try to understand this function. This we know now, right? We'll give noisy image and we will get the less noisier image, and same formula we are applying. This normal distribution, this will be the output image. Xt minus 1 means the image at previous time step, means we want to get the less noisy image now. Xt will always be a more noisy image, and xt minus 1 will be the less noisier image. So the task of reverse diffusion process is to get every time step, we want to reverse the process of forward diffusion process, means at each time step we want to get the less noisier image. So this will be the output image, less noisier image, and this is one value, this is second value, this is mean, and this is variance, and this is a normal distribution formula, and we want to get this on the basis of this value and this value, mean and variance. Okay, so this is one neural network, this is second neural network, means we will train our model to predict the value of this mean, and we need another network to predict the value of variance. But guys, let's not talk about variance right now, because the value of variance is fixed. So in this paper, in the initial papers of diffusion model, the author fixed the value of variance, means there is a value of variance. We will discuss it in some time. There is a value of variance. We will take that value of variance, right? And for this part, our model will predict the value mean. Our model will provide us, we will train a neural network. That neural network will give us the value of mean for each time step, right? Then on the basis of this mean value and the variance value, we will get the less noisier image. So this is the overall idea. So the task of this reverse diffusion process is to predict the noise. What is the task of this reverse diffusion process? We will predict the noise. And why we want to predict the noise? Because in forward diffusion process, we added the noise, some noise at each time step. Okay, and finally we got the noisy image, pure noise. And in reverse diffusion process, we want to train the model to predict the noise, and if you can predict the noise, we can easily subtract the noise from the image, and at every time step you will get the less noisier image. So we'll understand this whole concept in detail. I'm just giving you a basic idea that what is the goal of reverse diffusion model. Reverse diffusion model will give you a less noisier image, and for that we will train our model to predict, we will train our model to learn to predict how to we will train our model to predict the noise. Okay, once our model will predict the noise, we can subtract the predicted noise from the actual noise which we got from the forward diffusion process, and then step by step we can reduce the amount of noise from each image at each time step, and that's how you'll get the actual image x0. Key idea of reverse processes to learn to predict the noise, and for that every time xt will be the input, and we will get xt minus 1, right? And to do that, we will train our model to predict noise. Once our model will predict the noise, how AI model work? We train the model and then we see the noise, we calculate the loss function, and on the basis of the loss function, we further work, right? So you will train the model. We will train the model to predict noise. Once noise is predicted, we will calculate the loss. So this is the loss function. In reverse diffusion process, once you train the model to predict the noise, this is the loss function we will use. This epsilon over here is the true noise. True noise means the noise which we got from forward diffusion process, right? From forward diffusion process, we got this noise, and this is the noise which our model predicted. This is the noise which our model predicted, and we are subtracting the noise which our model predicted from the true noise, and this simply means mean square error. Okay, so how our model is predicting the noise? So for this, we are providing it the noisy image and the time step. On the basis of that, it is predicting the noise, and we are subtracting that noise from the true noise, which is the noise from the forward diffusion process. Then we are calculating the square difference of these two. Okay, and our target is to minimize. Our target is to minimize this error. Why we want to minimize this error? If the true noise and the noise predicted from model, if the distance between them is less, means if they are if we minimize it, that means our model is predicting that kind of noise which we have used in the forward diffusion process. And if our model is predicting the same kind of noise which we have used in forward diffusion process, that means we can easily, or we can remove the noise from the image at each time step more accurately, right? So that is what we want. We want to remove the noise at each time step. And if the noise our model predicted, and if the noise of true, if the true noise or the noise from the forward diffusion process is almost same, what will happen then? You just imagine what will happen if your model is learned properly about the noise. Then you can easily subtract that noise from the image at each time step, and then step by step you will get the actual image, which will be a clean image. So this is what reverse diffusion process is. And once your model is trained, you can generate images using it. So guys, this is what diffusion models are. In my upcoming videos, we'll see the practical implementation also, and I hope this video is helpful. And guys, if you like my content, please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching.